Get that Twitch money.
Great.
I think Twitch is probably the most comments we've gotten during the actual live show, which have been sort of interesting. Just to see some like the one I remember someone said like, so what is this about?
Why am I here? What's your purpose?
I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm not really sure I can answer that question.
Come down, sit a moment. I'll tell you the story.
Gather around, children. I'll tell you a story of fathers and games. See how it goes.
It's a pretty big ask there. Like, this story's going to take a while.
It's like, whoa. Slow it up there. You don't just cut to the punchline.
No.
That's not the
Wind
good
up.
The art of storytelling. Thank you.
That's right.
All right. How was it audio picking up? Test. The offline version. Decided to update Audacity just before recording, so that was a great idea.
That's perfect. That's what you want to do, right? You want to like make sure that there's variables and like who knows.
It's pretty significant, man. They really did some like UI stuff to it. Looks kind of nice.
It's getting better, eh? Instead of just like the bare bones of just
that has been for 10 years.
It's like designed by Angel Fire. Like it's like a website, GeoCities. Just
no, we should go back to that. It was a lot more fun.
It was.
Everything's too
innocent.
Nice. Yeah. Everything's too basic now. Everything's obvious. All right. On that great note, let's get this show started. We've propagated around the world on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere else. Let's begin. We are live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff did it. He pulled it off. His streak of Halloween costumes continues. Undefeated. Which means next year will be nothing but pressure, nothing but expectation.
Always.
The cliffhanger we left it last episode, was Jeff, the day before Halloween, trying to figure out what costume is going to be. And Jeff has had a sequential run of amazing costumes. Jeff is the guy at your company that shows up every year with an amazing costume, and everybody's waiting to see what he's going to have. Right. And I could not believe, I saw the tweet and it was absolutely perfect. You pulled it off, and I believe it came from your wife, actually.
Yeah, it came from my wife. She like ran down the stairs and she's like, "You got to do this!" Like it was like this epiphany, right? And I was telling her of all like your good ideas. Like I was gonna commit to one of them and be like, it's like 11 o'clock at night, the night before Halloween. I need something, and she just comes down. And she's like, "You're doing it, Wordle." So
that's the photo is Jeff has very, very nicely hand drawn a Wordle sheet board right on his chest, and you have sticky notes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even just, you didn't even just appear. You committed to the bit, and there was an actual word that people at your job could guess, right?
Yeah, I made it like an interactive thing, right? So it's no like boring costume like, "Hey, look at Jeff, he dressed up," and that's it. This was like a whole song and dance, Trevor. Like they got to get into it. They had to guess. Every piece was obviously like movable. I had multiple words. I streamed to other departments. So everybody had a run at this thing, and it turned out great. I had a great time. I had fun. I didn't do a lick of work that day. It was all just the costume and having fun.
That's like, look, Gaming Dad, you got to steal this next year, because it's so clever that it doesn't need to have high effort. It is a white T-shirt with the squares drawn on and colored sticky notes. That's it. And you are super comfortable.
Yeah.
You are super clever. Everyone thinks you're great. You're interactive. So you have something to do. Life of the party. Like it's
and it was perfect. I wore this all day and went out at night in it. So I had my jacket underneath, put this thing over top. It was kind of like drizzling out. Everyone had a great time. So like honestly, low budget, low cost costume. $5 on this thing, and that's it.
Perfect. So kudos, you pulled it off again last minute. We'll see if any of the other suggestions come in, either from the gaming dads who reached out to us via Twitter. Thank you for all those suggestions, or just like the ones we came up with.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys have a great Halloween success? Either yourself or your kids. Reach out to us, newdadgaming.com, or on Twitter at newdadgaming. Now, continuing with suggestions and successes, you really underplayed the game you suggested last week with Vampire Survivors. Because based on your recommendation, I ran out and purchased it. And this game is goddamn perfect.
Right?
It is so good. And the videos don't do it justice because you'll see it. You think you'll get the gist of it. Like, oh, it's a throwback. It's not very... It is the most video game-ass video game
Yes.
I have played in a long time. Like, it is so pure. It's so... Like, I hate the word simple because that's not fair. Like, it's just like there's something to agree with the art style and even the gameplay and the reward mechanism where it's just a very clean, clear loop.
Yeah.
But it's simple as in, do you remember the feeling of playing that amazing SNES game?
Exactly.
And the entire experience was just encapsulated with you, the controller, the cartridge, and the TV. That's what this is. What you purchase is what you get, and it's just fun and amazing.
So I'm glad you liked it. I'm so because you don't know, right? Like, it's one of those games that, again, these videos don't really do it justice. You just have to like jump in and kind of just feel it out. And again, super cheap. Like, this thing is just, again, a video game. Just true to the name.
Yeah, it's $5, and I'll say this: I knew it was coming to Game Pass, so it's been widely publicized that like this is coming. I think it's coming. At the time of my purchase, it was coming like 6 days away. Okay. But I still went to Steam. I purchased it on Steam because I just want this to exist in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want this guy to reap the benefits. Like, I want him to have, or her, whoever developed the game, to have success with this thing. Like, it's just so pure. Like, gaming dads, you have got to get this. Like, I think now, has your kid played it yet?
My 12-year-old has.
Okay. What's 12-year-old's review?
It like I had to pull it away from him.
That's a great review.
It's like he obviously just went wild with it, didn't stop. Not sure if it matters, but he does have ADHD, and this is kind of like one of those things where it's just like built for like just seeing patterns and just zoning in. And had a great time with it. And again, I had to kind of like pull the Steam Deck away, just like, no, it's mine again, just hold on. Had a great time though. I will totally recommend it. And again, not like crazy violent or anything, it's just like a shooter kind of thing. So
it's like Castlevania on the NES.
Yeah,
that's the degree of violence on it. You know what I mean? So it's like sprites and I don't think there's even blood, honestly.
I don't think so either.
It's all just numbers and it's great, guys. You've got to give it a shot. And as I said, it's such a throwback in the greatest sense. Like, I spent money on it just because I wanted to support it. And I'm looking forward to playing it on Game Pass, though, too. So, Vampire Survivors, Game Dads, you guys have got to check it out. Now, Gaming Dads, fatherhood, everything else. It seems as though I'd like to think that our show kind of informed the marketing of the new God of War. Because we were on top of it from day one. This is Dad of War. Yep. This is the dad story. And joking aside, it really was a fantastic story of fatherhood, like played out through the most ridiculous of Norse mythology. Yeah,
exactly.
But they've, as you pointed out to me when we started the show, they've leaned so hard into Dad of War.
Dad of War, yeah. Which is, it's good to see, right? Again, Sony didn't give us a call. I think we might have missed, didn't pick up the phone that day or weren't available or something. But just, again, to see them have these commercials with like Ben Stiller, John Travolta, LeBron James and their kids just talking about becoming Kratos is awesome. I don't know, as a gaming dad, it's just fun to see, and you don't really see much of our the parenthood representation, so it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. I do wonder if we'll start to see this thing more, because as generations that have grown up with video games have their own next generations, and gaming kind of becomes like this passing of the torch.
Yeah,
like this is about the perfect age where everybody is of the age in this commercial that would have they probably were into games, now they can do it with their kids. Right. And lo and behold, there's this game very much about a father and his son and all the dynamics that entails. So absolutely adore seeing them lean into it. Like, that's good. Yeah. God, I don't know if there could be a mod called like Dad of War. Maybe adds like a bit of a beer gut to them and He throws like grilled steaks at him or something.
That's right. Just yeah, he has one of the barbecue aprons.
Oh, that'd
you
be
know, like
That
kiss the
should-
shelf or whatever. Like
If that's not a downloadable, if that's not DLC,
know.
if that's not an unlockable costume, I don't know what it is. What are we doing here?
I know yeah. I mean, come on, let's start this. We can get a mod community together, right? Dad of War. You know, every 15 minutes in the game, you have to take a nap or something, or
Barbie, like the kiss the chef apron, like you
Yeah.
throw maybe a I don't know, like a bowling ball, or what would be like a grill spatula like,
Yeah,
in your hands ready to go.
yeah,
God, that would be so perfect.
perfect.
So-
It writes itself. I mean, come on.
it was great to see. Now, further with that though, was you tweeted out this link, and I really enjoyed it as well. So, I mean, obviously, God of War Ragnarok launches. I think it's officially launched now today.
Yeah, yeah,
So big, huge launch. Everybody's really excited about it. This game's getting 10 out of 10s across the board.
right.
So it seems like another critic darling, which is great. Like again, to see like a game so well received, so thoroughly well crafted, almost becomes like art in its storytelling and its production. Fantastic. Love to see it. Right. What was more exciting is that you're actually seeing these videos of lineups
Yeah,
on like various game stores. Right.
yeah. Like these midnight launch game lineups. How long has it been? Like these used to be back in my day. That's how we got video games, and now it's just like one of those rare sites, right? Like this is something that everyone points to digital, or they've already pre-bought through Amazon or something. But this is a in-person lineup with, I don't know, there's an energy to it, right? That is kind of missing a little bit these days. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, because even I'm sure they could have all downloaded it as well, but there is
Yeah.
something about that. Get the physical version, get to the store, be in the lineup with everyone else who's excited about that particular thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
right?
it's so great to see that it might be a tradition that continues on, even despite like the digital age.
I hope so. It kind of brings the community aspect to it, right? Like, again, you're there. You have a perfect icebreaker while you're there for what you're getting. So,
So, Dad of War, am I right?
Yeah.
They give high fives.
I don't know about you. I'm here for Sonic. I don't know what's
but-
going on.
That game looks pretty good though too. Frontiers,
Yeah.
I'll say that. Yeah, I'll be curious to see where it goes. Like, if I could at one point take, if there's a game that releases that my son is incredibly into that he wants to pick up, if we are able to participate in a midnight launch,
Yeah,
I would adore that. I think that'd be such a great bonding experience with them.
I think so too. And it would be good for the show. A good content thing. You can live stream yourself there, sitting a couple hours saying like, "Oh my God, I remember this. It's such a bad idea." In the cold and the rain.
That's exactly why I do everything with my son. Really, it's the show first.
That's right.
It's parenting second. You
Why
see.
we had kids. I'm just saying.
It's like, man, we need a podcast. we better have some next of kin so we can get this going.
Quick, when's your baby due? All right, we need another one. We need a long-term game plan here.
Come on, catch up. We got to be within a couple of months. It doesn't work otherwise. Now speaking of purchases and like midnight releases, depending on what my son would want, had sort of an interesting scenario with my kid for him spending his money, and I'm having some difficulty navigating it. I was going to be curious your thought and other listening dads. Specifically, we were, I think, getting haircuts at the mall or something, and during some layover time, he wanders over to a GameStop, and lo and behold, which immediately it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But they have a whole bunch of trinkets, a bunch of game paraphernalia, and immediately there's this one like Friday at Freddy's.
Yep.
I think it's like Foxy, whatever like that particular character is. Now that he likes that, like he likes these characters. He's never played the game. It's all just YouTube stuff, right? That's
Right,
That's his only introduction to it. There's a whole series of songs like dedicated to these characters. It's a whole lore that's been built up about a okay game.
Right.
And he finds his Fox character and he wants to purchase it. It's like $15. It's like, Dad, I have this money, which is true. He has saved up probably about $30 to $40.
Yeah.
And he wants to buy it. Now, so here come all the series of issues about this, right? Because he has, through a series of chores and wherever he got his cash, it's his money. He's owned it. He's saved it. He can do he should be able to do what he wants with it.
Yeah.
But Exhibit A and B and C would be that From this very same store, he bought, for instance, Gujitsu,
Right.
which
I
is
remember you talking about that. Yeah. That wasn't too long ago.
No, it was not too long ago. And guess what's never been played with once after he
Oh, no.
purchased it. It is like it's a show that it's crap garbage. Like sorry, I didn't even say it. The toys honestly are pretty cool. Like they're pretty well made. It's like Stretch Armstrong, so they have some. I don't mean to suggest like the product itself is actually garbage. Thankfully, there's actually pretty good. But he spent like upwards of $50 on 3 of these figures, and they have like they came back. It was all the rage for about a week, and then it went into a box, and he's not touched them since. And I'm trying to relay this to him that it's your money. You're allowed to purchase what you want. It's the whole purpose of saving. It's one of the greatest things. Like you want something, you save, you work, and then you can get it. Great reward. Right. It's just I want you to slow down and think about this, because the last time you did this, you spent $50 on a series of figures that you just haven't used.
Right.
Right. So I'm finding a real difficulty in relaying this lesson to my son, where it's saving and working and having a goal and then being able to purchase something. That's a great joy in life. That's excellent. I want you to experience it. This is your money. You have autonomy. You can make decisions. So great. Like you can choose it. But at the same time, if I'm being honest, you're making a stupid decision. And I would like to find a way to guide it. So the place where we ended up, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it, was you can get this. It's your own money for sure. But you have to wait 2 weeks. You can buy it in 2 weeks. And if 2 weeks from now you remember this thing and you still want to buy it, then you can get it. Is that a reasonable? Am I overthinking it and it's really just blow your money? That's one of the joys of childhood. Forget it. Or is 2 weeks too harsh? Like where have I landed? I'm a bit lost on this one.
I'm glad you said the 2 weeks, because I was gonna come in and say, listen to your old pal Jeff, who lives in the future, and I'll deliver you some wisdom. But I would say that to my kids when they're in like a GameStop and they want something that kind of looks like junky or something that they're gonna forget about. If they don't have their wallet on them, we don't get it that day, right? And they rarely ask to come back. If they, right? Like it's kind of just out of their head. I won't even put like a timestamp on it. I won't say 2 weeks or anything, because I think that kind of gets them riled up, because that's an eternity in a 9 or 12-year-old's mind. But usually I'll just say, okay, well, next time you have your wallet and we're out, we can swing by, and if you still want it, fine.
That is good.
Never happens, man. Like there's never...
I've made a mistake.
Never once. But now it's just like, okay, well, if they bring their wallet and they have it, then you remembered. This is your purchase. You learn off that.
That is so much better. And let me tell you why. Because the problem is now, like 2 weeks is a challenge that he gets to focus on.
Right.
Because he keeps asking how much longer is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So for him, that almost incentivizes him to remember it and just keep counting the days,
right?
As opposed to you, where you're like, well, if next time we're here, which also next time you come, he may not have his wallet. So
exactly.
Oh, that is very good. And your way is much better than what I've done, because I've created not a perverse incentive, but just a mechanism from which to force him to kind of count down. In excitement for it, as opposed to you, which is just sort of like ambivalence around, like, maybe if we come back one day, you can get it.
All right. You're going to go walk into his bedroom, and on the back of the door is going to be like X's of the days left, like a prison sentence. Like, we need 2 more weeks to get this thing.
Like, out of nowhere, like just perfectly coincidentally, from like a thrift store, we had purchased him a few shirts, and the one has this damn character on it.
Oh no! Okay, all right.
So he was like, "Hey, Dad, look, I'm wearing the shirt. There's only 2 weeks left." I'm like, "Oh man,
okay.
that shirt sucks."
It needs to go in the laundry, like, and just kind of stay there for 2 weeks. There's no visual.
Yeah, so. I don't, like I said, we had a similar conversation where we talked about punishment for when our kids act up, like bad at school, like they've done something rotten at home, and you punish them by taking away the thing that they purchased with their own money, where it's bizarre, right? Because like you're imposing your punishment upon things that they have agency over.
Yeah.
It's like you purchased it. It was your money. You saved up for it. Yet I'm going to take away your thing that you own. Like I still find that a really weird dichotomy. It's kind of easy when it's a younger kid because they just, they are fully beholden to you.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine, like, as they turn to teenagers, that conversation gets a little bit dicier. It's like, well, you can't take it away. It's mine. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. But I need.
It's getting there. And the 12-year-old bought his laptop, right? So we've had kind of things like that where, he broke the rules and was on it after bedtime in his room. So now it comes down here for bedtime.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not taking it away. It's just putting a boundary on it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to get more difficult as things go on, and I won't have that wisdom to give you. I'll be like, well, here's what didn't work, Trevor. You
That's still
let me
wisdom.
know.
That still counts. Okay, so we'll have to see. We'll have to land back around. I will keep everyone posted for
Please
the
do.
2-week countdown if he remembers. I think he's stubborn enough to remember. I think it's almost like I
I think
challenged
so
him.
too. I think
Like, I'll
it's-
show you.
Yeah, committing to the bit now.
And I'm gonna tell you, he'll buy it and it'll go away. He'll never remember it again.
We need like a gaming dad like garage sale online, just
that'd be
virtual
good.
sell out the stuff our kids don't ever touch and regain some of that.
Yeah, gaming dads, if you have suggestions around that, let us know at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. I'd be curious. I really would be curious to hear from dads who've had this happen because,
Yeah.
my God, man, I'm lost. I'll tell you how it goes. Now, speaking of being lost and not knowing how it goes, your kids pulled such a pro move with YouTube in your household this week. I hate to applaud them
Right.
because it's going against your wishes,
Yeah.
but it's so great. It's so very good what they pulled off on you.
Yeah. So they're evolving and adapting, Trevor. And just to kind of give you the scoop and everyone the scoop out there, when bedtime happens, I have the Wi-Fi set to bedtime mode, which means certain devices shut off. And that kind of cues them into like, oh, crap, I have to get off my phone or the TV or whatever and go up and get ready for bed. And then they have some calm down time, read a book, whatever. So one night it happened, like 8 o'clock happened, the Wi-Fi automatically goes off on these devices. And I don't hear, like, my kids are loud. So I do not hear them like elephant run up the stairs or anything. I'm like, what's going on? And I come out and my 12-year-old is still on his phone watching YouTube videos. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, just watching this. I'm like, what? I'm like, did you download these videos
Preparation.
in
for shutdown.
preparation? So that's what they did, and they admitted it, that they had downloaded videos because they knew what time it was coming up, right? So they would download, like, after they got home from school, download those videos, not watch those videos until, the Wi-Fi shut off. Watch other videos, and then pull those ones up.
God, that's so
It's such
smart.
It's such a great move, but it honestly gives me a glimpse into what we're kind of going to deal with in the future. Like, they're going to, like, I don't know.
Run circles around you. You have
Absolutely.
we
With
have
all
no
the smart
chance.
devices, they're going to code things to, like, turn against me. I don't know. Google's not going to answer my calls. I'm going to be locked inside my bedroom somehow. I don't know. So,
Yeah, just completely like reverse engineer
yeah.
your routers so that your devices are turned off and theirs are like
Yeah. Like, it
room
hotspots my
sensors.
phone.
your data goes up in smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that-
yeah.
That
Again,
it's so hard. Like, it's just hard to be mad at them because it's like, that's so smart. That's
It
such
is.
a great resolution. I hate it. I'm because like it's against my rules.
right.
But it's such creative problem solving.
Yeah. And that's our number one thing to them. Usually it's about like resiliency and adapting and, figuring out your own tools and around these barriers. Well, you did it. And I'm
not against me.
Exactly.
was
No,
talking
not
about-
like that.
Let's talk about math, son.
Yeah.
Not my rules. Come on.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So, watch out. You never know. One day you're going to wake up and it's not going to phase them. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. They've already figured it out.
We only They're still bad at it, fortunately, which is something I should really.
Hold on to that.
I should have enjoy every second of it because
You
they were trying to sneak some extra Halloween candy.
Yeah.
But the whole time it's just like in what they think is a whisper. Like, hey, come on, let's go downstairs. We got some candy. Okay, let's go. We're sitting there like I can hear you.
Fully hear you.
I got every step of your plan.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing clever about what you just did. But that's good because like at this point we're still a step ahead of them. But
That's right.
You're about to start losing that war. It seems.
Yeah, it's the one reason I keep their doors squeaky too. Like their door squeaks when they open, so I know when they're moving around, and I know when they're trying to get your laptop or phone and sneak it back up there. Didn't account for this downloading of stuff. So
They're always going to be one step ahead.
that's right.
Good way for you to get a chores too. It's like, man, these stairs are really squeaky. It's like, hey, listen, that's just parenting 101. That's just
right.
Got to know where our kids are at night. Love to fix it, but
I can't do it. Sorry, I need to know where you are.
All right, on that hot dad tip, we will wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Do you have any responses to the stories? Do you have some advice for how to handle a kid wasting their money, but it is their own money? How do you navigate that? Do you have any advice for Jeff on how to handle his adapting kids so he might stay one step ahead? Did you stay up in line for Dad of War and have a story from that? We'd love to hear about it. One of the greatest parts of the show has been the interaction with people who listen. So reach out. Find us on Twitter at New Dad Gaming or our website, newdadgaming.com. If you like the show, you can subscribe to the podcast on all the major podcasting networks, iTunes, Google Play, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Two things that really help the show, if we could ask for it. One is a subscription. Really helps the numbers, helps boost the signal, and a review. If you can leave a review on any of your chosen podcasting networks, it's an exponentially huge thing for us to get the signal out and boost it out to other gaming dads. If I'm going to find tips on how to properly manage my son's money,
Yes.
unless there's a bunch of dads, where does it get to? So Jeff and I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Everyone, that's been New Dad Gaming for the week. Thank you so much for listening. And until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old that's trying to hack into my systems here.
Hacking the
and
system.
a 9-year-old. But just remember, just because you became a dad.
Does not mean it's game over. All right. See you next week.
See you later.